answer your question. Give me space.
Yee! Aloha e malama pono. Thank you, Sean and Lisa, for the great introduction. She says, give me space. Why? Because some of our friends at Team Vunak asked, how do we create a little bit of space from the clinch for the straight blast? So if we're in the tie clinch right here, right? One thing I want is this inside line. If we're here, I'm going to be pummeling in to get double under and inside and control his neck. This is the control position. Now, as someone that primarily is a grappler, I actually want to end up there. But since your question is, how do we blast from there? I remember this thing that I like to say training some of my guys, and that is, we want to season our meat before we eat it. So, if I'm in here in the clinch range, I can season with a headbutt. I can season with a knee. I can season with a forearm. I can season with an elbow. So we have all these kinds of little shots and little shots to the base of the neck, because you got the occiput here, that's a vulnerable point. You got the vagus nerve sheath, that's a vulnerable point. So you can do all these kinds of shock hits. And having been a football player, a little bit of shoulder action, right? We also have to consider size. I'm going to use more shoulder, arm, and lower body because I'm a little taller. If I'm in Josh's position, he's in a really good position to do an upward angle on the headbutts. One thing we want to do though is create this kind of like figure 8 whirlpool. So that means if I want to hit left, I'm going to steer him into it. I'm going to steer him into it. If we want to do the blast in particular, I can create an angle. See what I just did there was I attacked his collarbone and the high aspect of his chest. So you can do these little shots to create a little room, and then summation of force. I don't just do a regular straight blast, I'm doing a compression of force. So I'm going to pull him into each hit. That becomes even more important on the ground. So if somehow in the fight Josh falls and I end up on top of him, I always want to maintain 3 points of base. So I don't want to just be here. That's really easy for him to escape. So instead, if I can get a pin, now I have the clinch and the hit and I have a post. Or I can do this same thing every time I hit, click, hit, and I create a post. Hit and create a post. So that you're always cycling to maintain balance and control and your ABC, awareness, balance, and control of his position. This is even more important if I'm on the bottom and control. So if we're here and I'm in this position, then there's that shot, there's this shot, there's this shot. All of these are still here. And when I'm in this position, I want to try to get a little bit offline, because if I'm going to try to do the blast, I have greater control from an oblique angle. And then of course from here, you can get into all your submissions and other things, but still be able to blast, since that was the question that was asked.
Now that's clinch to straight blast. Now give me